Welcome back, it's Michelle.
And Miguel.
And today we're going to continue our conversation on the famous goddess of the hunt. I don't know what this is, but Artemis. So this will be my version of the character Artemis, and we're gonna just start here. In general, I think Artemis is such an interesting goddess, and that I'm kind of glad Miguel picked her for us to kind of do an analysis on. My opinion of the Greek gods in general, it's very fascinating to me because I think about how very human they are, even though they're supposed to be these gods and goddesses of the world or whatever. But then the way the stories tell about these gods and goddesses, it seems very, very human. And I guess that's what helps people connect to those stories and continue passing on those stories, because you think god and goddesses are unreachable. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but I decided to do my take on Artemis in the more typical Renaissance look. I actually did take a reference based on the statue called Diana of Versailles, which is the Roman version, but it's a statue that depicts Artemis who about to go on a hunt with her bow, arrows behind her, and a doe. I just wanted to do a anime version of it, I don't know. And I may or may not have been inspired by Blood of Zeus, the animated series on Netflix, so bear in mind. I didn't get to add the deer. It would be on her right side.
Yeah, it would be too derivative, so I'm glad you took out the deer so that it's actually your idea.
And I guess I wanted to use this opportunity to kind of try to work on anatomy, or do almost a case study on this statue in particular. To me, it's the most iconic version of depiction of Artemis or Diana. This was just an art history challenge for me, and I decided to change up some things. So I had her have really long hair. Obviously, if you look at the statue, it's all white, but I wanted to figure out what kind of colors would look on her in that sense. And thinking how this is based on a Greek goddess, I assume she would have not a specific colored skin tone, but if she was obviously a goddess, what would that look like? And I wanted to use a very not so natural skin tone, I guess almost like a statue. Make her as blue as she can get.
Oh yeah, that's right, because she guides the moon while Apollo guides the sun.
Oh, right. So if you're not familiar with the mythology of Artemis, she is the daughter of Zeus and Leto, and she's also the twin sister of Apollo. I think the most recent depiction of the Greek gods stories, I was reading on Webtoon called Lord Olympus, and they depict Artemis as specifically an asexual character, and she's purple, so I guess it works out.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
I really had fun designing Artemis, and I guess in a way this is more of a art history assignment to myself, because I really wanted to touch base on how were these goddesses depicted through art and history, and so that was the one that came up in my mind.
And with any other mythology these days, they are becoming more modernized and becoming even more contemporary. And it goes without saying too that there are also many other mythologies that don't get as represented, but they're all equally coming into shedding light, socially speaking, as to what they could be in today's time. So that this idea of asexuality, I think, is really important, because it's okay, now they're even more relatable, because other people that are at least in today's world, that are not as represented, they could see themselves in these ancient stories that at the time they did their best to describe their orientation, what they were, and it turns out they may very well be the first fictional characters to be asexual, which is okay. And so it even more relatable. And by the way, I like how you did a whole blue tone, as you said, kind of bringing out that that nighttime lunar approach, because she guides the moon. So that was a really neat idea. I think that ultimately, now that I think of it, as proud as I am with my own version, I think it would have been nice to meld both gold and blue tones. That would ultimately create she's of royal divine blood, but also goddess of the moon. But anyway, I like yours. I think you did a nice job referencing that statue. And let us know what you think in the comments below. As usual, this is Miguel and Michelle signing off, and hope to see you on the next video.
Alright, we'll see you around. Bye!